second episode of how to approach dangerous areas. If you haven't seen the first episode, basically what I'm doing is kind of teaching by example and seeing how long I can stay alive while taking a series of calculated risks. So I'm not being suicidal, but I am doing things that will often get you killed if you're not really careful. At the end of the episode I said that if I survived a bit longer and got in a few more of these situations, then there would be a second video, and here it is. Since that last incident in Zelenogorsk, I've been doing a big circuit in this area between Zelenogorsk, Kamenka and Komarovo. There's a military base in the middle, and it seems to be a bit of a path that people follow up to the north and going through Zelenogorsk. It's also interesting terrain, and the frame rate's pretty decent in most places. One time I reached the bottom of that circle in between Komarovo and Kamenka. My character got thirsty, and I know that there's a well next to a barn across an open field. Normally I'd approach it and try to use cover and concealment and defilade, but as we all do, I got a bit complacent as I hadn't seen anyone for a while. And I thought I might just save some time, take that risk and run across a pretty wide open field. And right as I reach the middle of that field, I notice that some creepy bastard is following me. Hey man, how you doing? Hey, we can talk about it. Yeah, I had no intention of talking about it. I didn't like how he approached me. The main thing that made me start running and zigzagging was the fact that he raised his weapon. The whole thing just wasn't on my terms, and if I want to survive, I just can't accept that. I have an automatic weapon which is an advantage at this range, but nothing else is to my advantage. Everything else is basically equal. If I stay in that house, there are two entrances I have to cover, and it's also a third-person server, so he can check around a corner before popping out to shoot me with one bullet. And in general, the whole third-person invisible drone camera combat sucks. So I'm going to get some distance and try to gain an advantage on him. Then I might consider engaging, and if I can't do that, I'm just going to leave. So I kept watch, but I never saw him again, and I didn't want to approach that house or barn in case he's waiting there for me, so then I just left and went towards the military base. And I did the usual thing, lots of observation. Never saw anyone in the base though. I kept patrolling that larger area that I circled before on the map, and eventually I was back down the bottom again near that barn and open field. There's two of them, and they're both armed. But I can see by the way they're standing that they're AFK or checking the inventory or talking on TeamSpeak, something like that. Looks like a good opportunity to run up and say hello and see what happens. I was actually hoping to take cover behind a stone wall to the right, but as I got closer I found out that it was perpendicular to them and wouldn't provide any cover. Hey fellas, how's it going? Just stay over at that house for me.
Man. Alright, buddy. I'm just looking for, some place starting with an M. It's like, McKinsey. I'm fucking know. My friend was just leading me there. Do you happen to know where it is, man?
What's it called again?
Man, just waiting for the gun on my back. It's, hang on, let me have a look.
By the way, if I can get your friend out of the house as well, I'll feel a bit more comfortable and I'll come out and talk to
You
you.
logged off, dude. It's, Mashkin.
Oh, Mashinko.
So, Mashinko? Yeah, there we go. Nah, my buddy just logged off. You can go check in the house if you want, dude.
Okay.
He told me he had to log off there. There's a guy running up the street. Hey, buddy.
He's unarmed.
Yeah, he's unarmed. Where's he? Hey, Survivor. You want this shotgun, dude?
Hey, buddy.
Hello.
We got
Come grab the
bullets?
shotgun, bro. Dude, come grab the shotgun. It's a gift.
We're not going to hurt
That's
you,
my
man.
gift.
It's alright.
No, I was like... Oh, maybe my friend did...
I'm just going to run through
Oh,
this.
hang on. No, he didn't log off.
Oh, hello, sir. How's it going?
Cheers, man.
Hello.
Nah, we were just trying to we're just trying to get geared up so we can go back down and start helping freshies out and
Oh, really?
Is that drum, dude? Dude, here.
Oh,
You have it?
yes, really.
I got a drum. Wait, never mind. Maybe we left the drum somewhere. Never mind, dude.
That's
Found it,
probably
sorry.
honestly, man, I wouldn't, I understand that you probably don't believe that, but that is what we are trying to do. I actually got killed for trying to do it because some dude with an M55K killed me. An
Well,
electro.
if
Turns
that's-
out it's a death.
If that's actually what you're doing, you two are just fucking champions of the game.
Fair enough,
dude.
fair enough.
Machinko tents. Yeah, let's get up there, hey?
Alright.
Well, I gotta
yeah,
go in a
I want to see
second.
if I can, yeah, my friend's gotta go.
Can you
That's why I
leave
was
this
looking on my
man
map.
here? There?
Find it.
Because, yeah. Oh, I know the way, but he doesn't. I can't be bothered charting it because I gotta go.
I'll try to get him there. I've got a rough
Yeah,
idea where it
cheers.
is.
What's that gun on your back, by the way,
Freshie
dude?
didn't take my gift, what the
It's a
fuck?
blaze.
Oh, Blaze. Do you want some ammo for that? I got 2 bullets for it.
I'd love some, yeah, thanks.
Have you got any in it at the moment?
Oh, we...
Nah, none right now.
There you go.
Nice, thanks. Alright, let's
well.
piss off before someone else comes along.
Alright.
Picking up those 2 bullets is pivotal to what will happen later in the video, but I'll leave it at that for now. The whole situation there was pretty sketchy. Of course it's far safer to just keep moving, but we do it because this is the kind of thing that makes the game. So I could have justifiably shot his friend as he left the house because he said that he'd logged out, and he didn't announce the fact that he was coming outside either. But I just went with it even though it made me jump a bit. And with that we headed off towards the Machinko tents. My new friend's name is Chubby Ninja 5. And on the way we had a good chat for about 20 or 25 minutes. He let me know that his friend is a more of a kill-on-sight kind of person, and he had to talk him out of trying to shoot me. And he was in that house trying to log off, but I guess he changed his mind once he heard a voice outside. But lucky Chubby was nice and it turned out the way it did. Once we got to the tents, the plan was for me to give some overwatch from the forest while he went in and looted, and I was going to try to put some fire down on anyone who shoots at him. But I haven't been in this area for a long time, and I wasn't sure about the best position to do that from. The place I ended up moving to felt terrible. It felt like an obvious place I could be spotted from any angle, and I didn't even have a great view of the tents. So how was I going to help the Chubby Ninja if he was in trouble? A few minutes pass and I see no movement, which is a bit of a concern. I should see him running between tents at this point. That made me do something that I didn't really want to do, and I began to creep forward to the edge of the forest so that I could see more of the tents. That also means that anything in the tents can see me. Not good at all. I couldn't really tell how close they were and I thought they might be in the trees with me. They also could be shooting from the tents area. But one thing I couldn't do was take cover or return fire. If I don't know the exact angle that they're shooting from, standing behind a tree isn't going to help. If I stand there and return fire, it gives them a second where I'm more still, so they can get more accurate shots down. If I do return fire, it would only be in their general direction for suppression. And just the same, standing there and trying to find them would also mean that I need to be pretty stationary and they're going to shoot me as well. So the very best thing to do is run in the opposite direction. And now I'm going to employ a tactic that I used in the last video when I saw someone in a town and I was worried that they were following me. So I left the town heading east, went down around below it to the south, came all the way up on the western side and then faced back into the town basically from the opposite direction to where I was before. And what I'm trying to do there is confuse them and try to find an advantage. I want them to not be able to figure out where I am or what direction I'm going, and I want to find out their position so I can put myself in the best position to engage. So basically they don't know where I am, I know where they are, and I have a good position. But thanks to my friend who donated a couple of bullets before, I also have yet another advantage. I now have a weapon which has a longer effective range and is more accurate than theirs. So I've circled down from the eastern side, around the bottom and up to the western hills, overlooking right into the base. And I noticed that also somehow the trees on this side seem to be a bit more sparse and there are less bushes. I'm scanning the base, but also the trees near where I used to be, just in case they've tried to follow up and get me in there. That's when I spot Chubby's body right at the entrance. They must have shot him immediately, but I didn't hear that. Then finally, about 15 minutes after they shot at me, I finally spot who had killed Chubby Ninja 5 and then shot at me. They're sitting in this bunker right next to his body. And this is a good example of how long it takes and how long you have to wait and observe. I had a comment on Reddit in the last video that 2 minutes is plenty of time to observe an area before you go in. But the thing is, what do you do when you come across someone who's willing to wait that 2 minutes, or 4, or 8? In this game you have to be willing to let them make the mistake first. I estimate my range at about 400 meters or so, probably less, but they never stick their head up long enough for me to be confident to take a shot. So after a while I pulled out the AK and I put down a bit of fire just to make them nervous. I wanted to see if they would run around and possibly there'd be more people in there. Immediately after firing those shots, I once again changed position, and it's always a good idea to do that. It makes it a lot harder for people to track you down. If you make noise, move. At the new position, I begin to observe again. Also note that I'm not just looking into the military base, I'm also scanning the hills beside me. Every 30 seconds or so I pull my head up and look around. Not just because someone might know where I am, but I'm sure that there are plenty of people who get up in this kind of place and try their hand at sniping. Wouldn't want them to come across me. Now I discovered that there are 2 of them in that little bunker, and they're having a gunfight with a third person in there. I've got a much better angle on them in general, and I estimate that I'm 400 meters away. I don't actually expect to hit them with the first shot. What I think is going to happen is I'll miss, and then I can readjust on the second shot and maybe get a kill. Lucky me, it's dead on. And that means the next shot is going to be right on target. But I'm not just going to take any shot. I'm going to make sure that it's going to hit. I've only got 1 bullet left. 3 minutes pass and I see nothing. Then I see 1 person running past the front of the bunker. I don't know for certain if that's one of the people who killed Chubby Ninja or shot at me, or if they're part of another group who's attacking the first group, or maybe they're all on the same side. But at this point I don't care anymore. Everyone down there can go to hell. I'd already immediately started switching to my AK for some follow-up shots, just in case that first one missed. Then it was time to run off. So it turns out that the 2 bullets that were donated to me by someone who was originally wanting to kill me ended up avenging his friend. I think that's pretty cool. But what I'll end on are some thoughts on the people in the tents, their position. They were sitting ducks basically. They're in the bottom of a valley, surrounded by hills on all sides. To get to the tents you have to cross a wide open area, and if you want to leave you have to do the same thing. So you're basically painting yourself into a corner when someone comes along with a long range weapon. It's really a bit of a suicide mission if you want to camp there and try to get as many kills as possible. But I do see how it would be a lot of fun if you don't really intend on surviving very long. So that's it, and I hope this helped a little bit more. Also, if you want to see more about how I snipe and range find and everything, and the tactics I use at long range, I do have some much older videos which are all about that. Especially back when the Mosin could attach a long-range scope and bipod, I was hitting people at 1 kilometer. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.